Hi, I'm Jamie, and I have too many unfinished projects. I knit, crochet, paint, weave, embroider, spin, make miniatures, pile of clothing to alter and repair, ends that I have to weave in, and clothing that I want to sew, and a collection of kits from thrift stores that I want to make. So grab a WIP with me and sit a while and let's get some stuff done. Hello, my unwitting accountability buddies. I am back with yet another WIP that needs to be done, the never ending. I was like counting them up in that room, and I could do this for over a year and still not have my WIPs done, even at 1 week. So, bad me. But today I've put down the crochet and the knitting, and we're going to do some needlepoint. So I have this vintage pattern. I don't know if you can see. It says Sunset Designs 1974. And, originally they came in a kit and they had, all the floss with them and everything. And this one did not. This one was just a printed piece of canvas. But I did look online and it was pretty hard. I could only find two pictures of this. One was a kit that was for sale and hadn't been done. And then the other one was one that had been completed. And there was also an orange in there, which was really cute. But I didn't have any of that stuff. I just had this. And on the original, the background is just white. I could not fill in an entirely white background, entirely one color background. I did that once before with a light blue, and it took me almost 10 years to finish that cross stitch because I was like, that is too much. So I picked it up and didn't start recording right away because, of course, I don't follow through with a lot of things, obviously. And I was like, I'm just going to start doing this and I'm not going to record. And then it was like, I just want to put it down and pick up something else. And it's like, well, I can't do that because that defeats the whole entire purpose of me trying to finish these WIPs once I pick them up. So essentially, all I need to do is finish in the background. And I kind of was doing a blue tile thing here, kind of like if it was on a kitchen counter. I remember having a huge debate if I wanted to do yellows or oranges, something to keep more in with a 70s theme, but I thought the blue added a really good contrast and kind of modernized it a little bit. As much as I do love some vintage stuff, I've got it all over the house. I also do like having unique stuff on my wall, even if it's like a version of something else that is mass produced. I like most of my stuff being unique. So we're going to do that. I think I put this down mainly because the colors I chose, I'm not sure if I have enough. They're like little crewel, let's put it in front of my face so it doesn't focus on me. It's like little crewel work yarn in 3 colors. I'm not sure if I'll have enough, but I'm going to give it a shot and try and get this done. Oh, also, I was like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I was figuring I would have to like maybe cut it down. But when I was digging through some stuff, I found this old square frame from IKEA that happens to be the exact size for this, which is amazing what you can do when you hoard craft supplies and frames and stuff like that, is that you get to match this stuff up. Makes it really easy. I am deciding if I want to sand this down and paint it a different color. I was thinking maybe gold, just because I kind of like it. I don't know, much of a white frame fan. You can't see over there, but most of those frames are like natural wood and black. So we'll see. We'll see what I want to do with that. I do have time this weekend to work on that a little bit. But anyways, oh jeez. So way back in my stash back there in the back room, hold on, let me count. 7, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anyways, I've got a few vintage kits. Most of them are like the little, gosh, I think they were out of the Current magazine when I was younger, but they're just the little ones with the little plastic frames that anyone from the 80s can kind of remember, the 70s and 80s can kind of remember. Oh, look, I've got a piece of hair sticking up. And so I love doing those because they're pretty quick and easy. Like you can do 2 of them in an evening or 1 of them in an evening and feel accomplished. But I ran across this one at a thrift store, and because it was missing a bunch of stuff, it was pretty cheap. And it was just like, oh, I kind of really like the simplicity of it. Plus, let's give these old kits new life. Like we don't have to do exactly what they had on there. I mean, some people do fully like that retro vibe, and I can get with that. My retro vibe is more of a mid-century than it is of a 70s. But when I was younger, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was very much into the 70s. I was so excited when you could buy embroidered bell bottoms at the store. I think if I was more inclined to wear that type of stuff, I would probably make it now, and wear it. But okay, I finished the stitching, thank goodness. But one of the things that I'm really surprised about is that, I started over here and I didn't do any counting at all to get things in the, plan. I didn't plan. The word is plan. I didn't plan anything on here for the background pattern, like of how it would end. But look, it's like perfect diamond pattern just randomly. And that is amazing. That is amazing. I also decided that I don't think I'm going to paint the frame. I just want to move on to another project, and painting a frame is not a make or break of the project. The finish, the stitching, and putting it in the frame is. Plus, I think the white is kind of cute. So I'm going to trim it down and put it in here, and I'll be right back. Okay, and just like that, another project is done, which makes me very happy. And I do love the choice of the blue in the back. I think the yellow would have kind of made the apple inside murky-ish, and then the orange, because it's kind of an orangey red, was just going to blend in the outside of the apple. So the blue was a good contrast. And again, even though I know that it's not like a full 70s look, but anyways, we're done with this and on to the next one. I think I might continue with fruit because I have some grapes that I've made that I need to do a background on and mount up. So anyways, see you guys next time.